or the Aztec mythology, I knew what a Dalek was. I mean, this, you know, I couldn't tell you what the initials for TARDIS stood for. Back then, time, relative dimension in space. I used to worry about red Daleks, because I had a copy of Dalek World, which was one of these glorious annuals which...
Is that where they pose nude? And
Actually, I would have loved a new Dalek, because you would have seen inside.
That's where they expose the little squiddy creature inside.
Miss Zap is exterminator. So, and it would talk in there at one point about the fact that Daleks couldn't see the colour red. And I worried, because there were red Daleks. And I had this horrible vision of these Daleks going, oh my god, what was that? These bumps are just floating in the air. And this is the kind of stuff I think about when I was 6 or 7.
But that's the good thing about it, too, is you can know more about it than your parents do.
Absolutely.
The only thing that you know more about than your parents do when you're sort of growing up, and you can tell them.
I loved that. I loved the fact that I had this huge body of knowledge to draw on when I started writing my episode. But the other thing about writing Doctor Who is you're always absolutely aware that on the one hand you have 47 years worth of cool stuff to plunder, and on the other hand, somewhere in the universe there are lots and lots of really bright 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 28-year-olds and 50-year-olds for whom this is going to be their first ever episode. And you don't want to let them. You want to tell them the simplicity of the Doctor Who mythos. People are intimidated. They think that there's 47 years worth of stuff they need to know before they can enjoy anything. And what you want to say is, no, look, there is a blue box. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. It can go anywhere in time and space, sometimes even where it's meant to go. And when it turns up, there's a bloke in it called the Doctor, and there will be stuff wrong, and he will do his best to sort it out, and he will probably succeed, because he's awesome. That's all. Now sit down, shut up, and watch Blink.
Mark, what was your exposure to Doctor Who?
I remember seeing Troughton, but I remember really seeing Pertwee, and Tom Baker was my doctor. I mean, that was the deal. That was a great era of Doctor Who, and it was something you sought out, and something you watched, and something you got to own. I remember, I loved the Daleks. I mean, I wanted to be a Dalek. I wanted to be Davros more than I was. You were in that Dalek. There's a photograph of him inside a Dalek.
Trying to make a Dalek wave is quite difficult, by the way.
There's a problem.
I have never posted the photograph on Twitter, on my blog, of me cuddling the Dalek, just hugging it. No, I posted the photo of me with the weeping angel just behind me, but the photo of me locking this red Dalek in a giant hug is never, that one's just for me.
You know the ones that scared the you-know-what out of me was always the Cybermen. It was
the silent Cybermen.
Yes, the faceless, the original ones. I had a black and white TV at that time, and I just remember being absolutely terrified by them. And what I think is so fantastic about Russell's reincarnation of this and retooling of this, and now Stephen's, is they preserved that one thing, which is to scare the living you-know-what out of us. I mean, and that is fantastic. It is all of these things that we've been talking about. The one common denominator is the stories are great. The storytelling is fantastic. And that resonates with us as fans. It's done in a cheap and ungainly way, you know, in a very cynical way, without much love. We don't really like it, we don't really enjoy it. But when it's done with as much passion as Who, and it's done with as much passion as those other shows that we love so much, which will remain nameless, we can sense it, and we latch onto it, and we love every minute of it. I mean, Who is literally a work of love, because it ain't a work of money. It never works. It's a work of love. It's a work of love and passion. And it shows, it really does show. And I gotta tell you, Matt Smith is my doctor.
Yeah, he's...
Just let me throw something amazing. I used to write stuff for Matt, and he brought it in better and deeper, sometimes funnier, always odder. Ever have dreamed.
I mean, to have Chris Eccleston to open that up, and then fantastic. David to bring just brilliant, and then Matt to come in and be something even more different. It is such a hard thing to do, and yet I think he's fantastic. I think they're all fantastic.
Yeah, Matt does this really amazing thing where first of all, he looks like he's in a new wave band, and he manages to strike this insane counterbalance between incredible boyish curiosity, but then also you sense that he's 900 years old inside.
I think that's the most interesting thing about writing for Matt in some ways. He's the first of the Doctors who actually feels vastly ancient.
Yeah.
You know, they all had the glorious different qualities. Chris Eccleston, you know, sort of hardened soldier who's left the battlefield, David Tennant, glorious white boy, and so on and so forth. Energy. With amazing energy. But with Matt, you actually get the feeling of age all the way through, and just this feeling that he goes all the way back, and that almost for the first time since Tom Baker, the idea that actually the central entity and the body are two slightly different things. You know, this is an alien. This is not somebody that you know. There's something very real going on here, which is amazing.
He carries that weight so superbly.
It's great to direct as well. I mean, I think the inherent quality you need to have if you're going to play the Doctor is to be able to look at effectively what is a piece of tape stuck on a lighting stand, and look at it and conjure the universe with your eyes, and that's what he does. He look at that piece of tape and it's an exploding TARDIS or a sun or whatever you're showing him, and he does that, and he's more valuable to us than any of the special effects we have, which I'm very grateful to have, what we have. But his eyes say to us, and his eyes make us believe it, and that's what he has.
You know, he took me around the TARDIS and showed me how every button and wheel works. There's a wonderful film.
Don't touch that.
Did he show you that little thing? I remember he showed me the thing from Gallifrey.
Yes.
It's the little plaque saying where it was built.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my, the origin part.
And I love the fact this thing has never ever been shown on any TV episode ever. There's just a little plaque on the TARDIS saying which Gallifreyan workshops it was built in.
It's the origin plaque of the TARDIS.
The origin plaque of the TARDIS.
Model number.
It just sits there and nobody's ever seen it.
But what's great is Phil has to follow him around the whole time in case he breaks something. Because he has a habit of things falling off. He's like, I got it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Stick it back together.
Well, that's what I love about it. I was making Doctor Who when I was a kid out of sticky glue, you know, sellotape, and I'm still doing that.
So I read the Blue Peter book, which How to Build a TARDIS. I remember the annual, and I was like, I'll never be old enough. I remember reading it and going, I'll never be old enough to be responsible enough to build my own Dalek.
I remember watching Val Singleton teaching us how to make a Dalek out of chocolate cake Smarties. And a Kit Kat.
Now we've got Mythbusters.
Mark, I want to show, because we have a clip of you from the show.
You're actually going to see what Canton Everett Delaware the Third does.
We're going to actually see what Canada Delaware the Third does. Again, I know you guys already know this, but the season premiere of Doctor Who is April 23rd at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central on BBC America. And so let's show a little clip of